And you had no idea that tomatoes could be so lively. So, the primary function of plant stems is to both elongate and orient the leaves of the plant to maximize photosynthesis. The job of the stem is to orient the plant's solar panels, just the way EMCC's solar panels move throughout the day if you've ever watched them, tracking the sun, maximizing the capture of radiant energy. Some really quick terminology. Stems are demarcated by what are called nodes, and those are just the junctions that you see there. And then the internode, that's the stretch of stem between the nodes. Remember, inter just means across, so the internodes are that area that stretch across from node to node. The tips of stems, both at the apex of the plant as well as right next to the lateral stems, are going to house apical and axillary buds, respectively. So within those buds, we find meristems. And meristems are what allow the plant to do primary growth, to get longer or wider. We're going to return to those meristems, but for now, recognize that those meristems contain plant stem cells, undifferentiated cells that can be coaxed into growing into any type of specialized cell and tissue type. Axillary buds, found right there at the nodes, they also contain those meristems. Thus, if a deer comes along and browses off that lateral stem, the plant has the capacity to generate a new stem in its stead. And just like roots, stems can also be modified to perform different functions other than orienting the solar panels. So how else have plants modified their stems to perform different functions? Let's start with rhizomes. These are underground stems. Notice that the rhizomes are not green. They contain no chloroplasts, no chlorophyll. So the plant is using the rhizome to laterally expand so that it can capitalize on new resources. You may be familiar with ginger root if you like to cook a good stir fry like I do, but ginger is not actually a root at all. Ginger is the rhizome, the underground stem of the ginger plant. Thus, the ginger root should actually be called the ginger stem. So if you've ever been to Hawaii, you've witnessed just how fast ginger can become invasive because that rhizome allows that plant to spread out quickly underground and pop up in new places where there's sunlight or water. While the rhizomes are below ground, the stolons are above ground. But again, these are lateral stems. They're going to allow the plant to spread out to access resources. These stolons, if you recognize that plant, we grow them in our community garden. Those are strawberries. And another example of stolons, this is a common house plant, really easy to grow, fun to grow. This is the spider plant, and it's going to send out those stolons to get new little plantlets out into the world. And just like roots, stems can also be modified to store energy in the form of carbohydrates. So storage stems are called tubers. The potatoes that we all love to snarf up are tubers. A potato is not a root. A potato is a modified plant stem. But just like modified roots, like carrots, The modified storage stem, the tuber, is loaded with energy. 164 calories in an average white potato with 37 grams of carbohydrates, ready to fuel that potato for when conditions for growth become favorable again.